What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Elza. I'm here with Breakthru TV. About to sit down with my brother Adrian and just kick some game knowledge and talk about the upcoming mixtape, To Live to Love.
I just can't lose all of the things that we used to do. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Back with another interview. My name is Adrian, Breakthru TV. Today I got my man Elza with us. Really excited. Man, I've known you for some time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We go way back, so I'm glad we're sitting here doing this today.
No, it's a pleasure, bro. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. How you feeling?
Blessed.
Feeling blessed? Man,
Blessed,
that's good.
yeah.
Sounds like the word of the day.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, like, words have power behind them.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And if I tell you, bro, I had the most stressful day and I had to do X, Y, and Z. Now I'm creating a reality of stress.
Yeah, you're kind of feeding into that.
I'm feeding into it.
Yeah.
You feel me? I don't even say like I have bad days anymore. I have challenging days.
Oh, nice.
Only because it's like these are things that I can overcome eventually.
For sure.
You know, just today, which has maybe been overwhelming or challenging in that. But I'll never say it's bad because at the end of the day, I'm alive. I'm here.
You're blessed.
I'm blessed. I have the opportunity to work through those things and live through them.
Exactly, man. Like you said, you know, words are a very powerful tool.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
you got to speak to yourself the right way.
Yeah. You got to be more gentle. And that's one thing I've been learning, like being more gentle with myself. Learning to be more transparent, vulnerable, open, and just taking everything in stride, not just, you know, really being so pressured to be the best version of myself. Let me be the human version of myself.
Of course. No, that's good, man. So, I mean, let's tell the people where you're from and kind of how it was growing up there and being from there.
So I'm from Fontana, California.
Okay.
IE raised. And growing up in Fontana is very interesting because I stayed on the north side of Fontana. Like, Fontana is huge. It's you got North Fontana, you have like downtown, the middle section of Fontana, then you have Southridge. You know, so I think growing up in Fontana is very interesting because you get different demographics and different people in different areas of Fontana. Like 2 miles can separate you from a whole different, you know, area change and geological change and the people there. And it's just full of culture. Like when you really start digging deep into it, like, you know, Fontana, I feel like is right in the middle of everything. So you're like right next to Rancho, but then you're right above Ontario, you know? So you're like in like the center of all the different cities in the Inland Empire. You feel me?
That is true.
So it's like you're 10 minutes from the Dino, like maybe even less than that, like 7-8 minutes from Rialto, depending on where you are, like you're at and everything like that. So I feel like growing up in Fontana just puts you in the middle of everything, especially like I went to Etiwana High School, and Etiwana High had like a known reputation in the Inland Empire for a lot of different reasons. You feel me? We won't get into it, but like you see a lot of people coming in and out of Etiwanda. You're right next to Fontana. You're in the center of everything. So it just puts you in a position to study people. And that's why I feel like, for me, I just met a lot of people being in Fontana, going through the experiences, but being in that location, like you just get a lot of knowledge and
just makes you more well-rounded, right?
Yeah.
How did, you know, being from Fontana or just the IE in general, you know, lead to you or affect you as an artist? Or did it have anything to do with why you became an artist?
I feel like my city has inspired me in a way to just be myself, because if I told somebody who's from Tennessee, South Dakota, I'm from Fontana, California, they're not going to know what that is. But so my mission became, how can I incorporate what I live, what I see, what I'm surrounded by in my music? That way, even if you've never been, mentally you could see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Because realistically, there's probably like a carbon copy of the IE somewhere in some other state where someone can relate to where the IE, what the IE is. You feel me?
Yeah.
Being 45 minutes from like a major city.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're like, okay, like I'm connected, but then we're disconnected at the same time. So I feel like there's just so many different walks of life from the Inland Empire, from Fontana, and being able to capture that in a genuine sense to where you're able to bridge the gap between, you know, you and your listeners is very, very important, because I don't make music just for like people in my city. It's inspired by my city, but I want to show my city something more.
It's giving it an identity.
It's giving it an identity. And then on top of that, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm also making music for that person in Chicago, in New York, in Memphis, whatever it may be, because at the end of the day, this music is something that's not just area locked. It's now it's on. We have streaming platforms as independent artists.
You can reach anywhere.
You can reach anywhere. You can be competing with someone from Dubai, the UK, Nigeria. You never know where your audience is going to come from.
Yeah.
So taking that into consideration, it's like, okay, when I speak my message, when I put out these songs, when I come up with these concepts and think about how I'm going to roll this project out, I'm thinking about, if I was to do this on an industry level, who would I be impacting?
Yeah. You know, that's interesting that you say that, because I think the advantage that artists from the IE have is that they don't feel so obligated to make LA music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're able to kind of go outside of this box. I feel like if, you know, artists in LA, they do make that LA sound, because obviously they're surrounded by that constantly. Yeah. Where in the IE, I feel like, you know, like you said, you're so exposed to different people and different upbringings that you kind of get a broader sense of music. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. And I think just in general, like, for me personally, is how I was raised. Like, most of the time, my parents play like R&B, soul music, oldies, jazz. Like, being at my grandmother, we only listened to like 94.7 The Wave and things of that nature. Whenever I was in LA, and things of that nature. So just branching out from that, I'm like, okay, I'm looking for different types of content in my music, you know? So growing up, then you know, we came up in the early 2000s era. We were children during that time, just soaking all of this in. Like, and music sounded different. It was more credited, like, you have to have your own unique style.
That is true. Yeah.
You know?
It wasn't like these niche areas.
No, it wasn't like, you know, I guess you could say different, like, rap hadn't had that broadening of culture. It was either this, that, or that. You know? And like that, I guess you could say close to like 2008, 2009, 2010, you start getting that, okay, now we're branching off genres in hip hop and rap, where you can incorporate more melodic melodies, more motion, more different type of things that people were inspired by, you know?
Exactly.
And it just became more universally accepted to put this into music, because essentially we're just pushing the culture forward. Yeah. So I feel like with the IE, there's a lot of different tastes. Like, I have homies who listen to indie rock and all these, like, will put me on different type of rock bands, will put me on different like type of singers and all these different things. And it's like, okay, you know what? Why not listen to it? Like, everybody's music is just perspective. It's perception. Somebody's telling me their life on a different soundscape, but there's always something to learn, something from that. You feel me? And to be inspired by, because I feel like any type of art is supposed to inspire humans.
Exactly. That's the purpose of art, I feel like. Yeah. You know? So when was it that you really began to take music seriously?
So I didn't really start taking music seriously till like 2015. Okay. I made music before then, wasn't really satisfied with it. And it wasn't until like I started recording this EP back in 2015 called Life As We Know. And I first teamed up with my brother Mills and just was going through that process of like getting my songs properly mixed. You feel me? Learning these things, sitting in a studio and watching my songs being curated and created and choosing track lists and what songs are going to make it and things of that nature. Like I wasn't even thinking of that before. It was just I'm going to do it my way and just put it out, you know. But then like from 2015 till now, I started to learn like there's a method to all of this.
Of course.
You know, you have your creative side and then you have your business side. Some songs that may work on the creative side may not work on the business side, you know. But 2015 for sure is where I decided like, you know what, I'm going to be committed to being an artist. And then as I dropped projects in 2016, 2017, it just was doubling down on that commitment and becoming like more focused and more serious about it.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I like that you kind of touched on what you've learned from that time up until now. And now you have a new project coming out.
Yeah, To Live to Love comes out on Wednesday. So this is what, October 18th. So October 20th is when it drops.
Okay.
And I feel like it's my best project so far.
How do you feel like you've evolved from your last project to this one?
I've learned how to express myself in a very genuine manner where I'm still telling my story, but you can still insert your life into the music. And when I was creating this from like a place, like just giving a little backstory, like 2018, I hit like one of the lowest parts of my life. And I literally was assembling a team to like do everything that I needed to do. You feel me? But I'd never been in that position as a leader before. And so I disbanded it. I was going through like depression, recently dropped out of school, all different types of things. Like in my personal, we're traveling over to the creative side. So now I was starting from ground zero, rock bottom, all over again. You feel me? And I wanted to be a person who defined his art, not an artist who was defined by their art. Like, you know, because at the end of the day, I, as a man, decide to make this content, decide to make this, you know, I choose these things. And the human part of me is always going to be what connects with the people. The name that you see on it is just the brand. It's like when you go to the store, you feel me? But what's the content inside of it?
Yeah.
You feel me? So I had to work on like my relationship with God. I had to work on the relationship with the people I had around me, and the closest individuals that I have became closer. I gravitated towards them. I started to really just get myself in alignment to become better than who I was before. You know, I felt like I was using music as a way to define me as a human being. Like without music, I wouldn't do let's be a great human being first.
Yeah. And then
make the music, you know? And I stopped writing. I started freestyling. And that was like one of the biggest things, because it's like I feel like on paper, things were just confined. And I had so much emotion that I wanted to get out. And sometimes you can't convey that emotion on the paper. Then like by the time you get into the studio, when you try to recreate that emotion, it's not there, you know?
Yeah.
So most of this music was recorded between like 2018 to 2020.
Okay.
And it was like a 2-year process of like, I was making music that I never made before. And also the creative process behind it, I was just making songs. Then it got to the point where like, well, what are we doing with all these songs?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put a project. So my managers, Eastside Lamont and Paradise, and my engineer Mills, we all sat down and started creating the track list for the project. And it was like, okay, you know, it's either it's gonna make it or it's not gonna make it. Because if I chose the songs, then yeah, it's my perspective on what I think is best. But like how Mills instructed me, he was like, bro, if we put 4 people's minds together, we're gonna come out with something great.
No, definitely. I think you need those outside opinions on your music, because as an artist, you get so attached to your work. Yeah. And you fall so deeply in love with your work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you're almost blinded. You know, there's a bias there towards your own music, which is just natural.
Yeah.
So it's good to have those outside opinions to kind of give their input and say, hey, this works, this might not work. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's just good, because it's like everyone listens for something different in music.
Yeah.
You feel me? And what I may gravitate towards may not be what you gravitate towards. But if we can universally come together with the expansive taste that we all have in music, then we can go ahead and pick a song, and it can agree on it. We can cultivate a strong body of work.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. And I think that's just what this project was for. You feel me? To me, it feels like a compilation of life. Like, let's just say you took Polaroids, right? From different years, different experiences, and you put it all together. Now, as a body of work, it's all going to make sense. But for you, these are each individual moments that stood out to you, that you captured onto, 3 minutes worth of a song, whatever it may be, and they stand strong and they resonate with not only you, but with people in general.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I think that's a great, creative process and way to approach it. So how many tracks did you end up with?
We ended up with 11. We were going to go for 10, but there was one song I couldn't have taken off. Well, because it had more personal meaning. A lot of this project, weirdly enough to say, was inspired by death, because I was losing a lot of loved ones during this process. And the song that I absolutely had to keep no matter what was a song produced by one of my childhood friends who passed away last year. You feel me? It was a song with me, Mills, and the homie Bachi. And it was crazy. He died before he got a chance to hear the song. Wow. And so I was like, I want the world to hear his talent still. You feel me?
Oh, for sure.
So, and then also I have him singing like a clip, like he just sent me, like he was inspired and just sent me a clip of him singing one of my songs from back in the day. I got that on there, And I just feel with 11 tracks, it's an easy listen. You're not intimidated by a 17, 20 song project, because at the end of the day, I want this to be somebody's soundtrack to their life. I understand somebody's going to wake up and play this from sun up to sundown. I don't want them to have listeners fatigue, but I want them to be able to be like, you know what? I can dig deeper.
For sure.
When I listen to it, I can dig deeper. I'm not tired of just listening to it, and I feel like there's a song for everybody on this project.
No, yeah, I think 11 tracks is a perfect amount, because to be quite honest, even if Drake puts out a 22 song project, it's so hard to sit through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's Drake. So as a rising artist, if you're really, dropping 20 track albums, it's just not going to work,
Unless some people have the viewership for that, the fan base for that, but it's like, okay, you know what? I'm starting back up. I had to rebrand myself as an artist. I changed my name to Elza. And so I was like, you know what? I looked at a project that really inspired me was Feed the Streets 2 by Roddy Ricch. I'm like, because he dropped that and he was out of here. You feel me? And it was like, I think 13 to 14 songs, if I'm not mistaken. And I was listening to that project consistently. I'm like, wow, there was a lot he did within a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And that's where the biggest thing with this project is how can we give you a lot in a digestible size, you know?
No, for
example, you can hop in the whip, go on your daily drive to LA and listen to the whole entire project front to back, Or if you are just running around your errands, you can still listen to it like that, If you're going on a night drive, you have different ways to listen to this, to where it's not like I gotta specifically drive an hour long to hear the project. Yeah. I can listen to this in 34, 40 minutes.
You feel me? Easily consumable.
Exactly.
Perfect. What is a track that you are most excited for people to hear? And is it your favorite track?
Yeah, Crisis. It's because it's I feel like that was a very, very important time in my life last year, where I was dealing with somebody, and the whole concept of the story is of the song is everything in my life is going forward. And you're the only thing that I have in my past that I haven't cut ties with. I'm trying to hold on to you and bring you into this future with me, but everything in life is pushing us apart.
Yeah.
So, you know, to be able to capture that emotion, and it was like one of the only songs that I took like multiple days to record and put it together, you know? And I feel like that song captured my vulnerability and captured the project's concept in a whole in one song. You feel me? Where like if you look at the mixtape House to Live to Love, like I'm living life and trying to move forward in my life, but the love that I have for someone is still holding me back. So what am I to do in this predicament?
Yeah.
I'm in a crisis. Literally, you know? And I feel like just from a production sense, vocally, it's completely different than something that I've ever done before, you know? And to put it together and for people to hear it for the first time, it's like more of a cinematic experience. Like you literally see a movie to it, you know? So that's this song I'm excited for everyone to hear.
I think when I pulled up on you and you played the project for me, which was months ago, I'm sure you've refined it since then. I think I remember listening to Crisis, and that was probably my favorite track that you had showed me that night.
Yeah, because it's different. You know, it's like if anyone who I play that song for, they're always like, wow, like lost for words. And it's even when I'm listening to it earlier today and I'm like, fuck, like this is
shit hard.
Like it's crazy. Like it was just a moment. And that's how I feel about all of the songs on this project is a moment in time, you know? And to be able to go back to those moments and be like, I know exactly where I was. I know exactly how this song was created. And I know what inspired it. I can only hope that these songs create a similar feeling within the audience once they're able to listen to this, you know?
Definitely. So when they do listen to it, what is the theme or the vibe or the message that you want them to take away from it?
The message that I want people to just sit and resonate with is to never stop moving forward. Like you are limitless. You continue to evolve, and the only way to evolve is to live and to love. Like no matter what the heartbreak is, no matter what the challenges in life are presenting to you, the more you continue to embrace these positions and roles that you're being casted in, it's going to make you a better person. Trust in your path, trust in your goals. Live inspired. Don't live just to live, but live with the thought in mind that I want to be inspired by everything around me, you know? Cherish the relationships you have. Cherish the people that you have around you. Don't take them for granted. Don't take your life for granted. Continue to elevate further, because the more you grow, the more life in your perspective and perception of life will, you know, just expand. So that's just in a nutshell what I want people to walk away with from this project.
No, that's great, man. That's a great message. Do you have anything special planned for after the album drops?
So there's a lot of like content that's gonna be rolling out.
Okay.
We have like video series, music videos, interview series, touching base with the community, because that's one of the biggest things. Like when I was coming up for the campaign for this project, I was stuck for a second because I was like, you know, what are we going to like talk about? Because before on my last EP, Stronger Than Diamond, it was about dealing with pressure. You feel me? This is about life, and life is just so broad. And I'm like, okay, this isn't one of those campaigns where you can just like try to galvanize people around that concept. You literally just have to show them. So that was one thing my manager Paradise always told me. He was like, bro, people like you as a person and they want to see you living life. Capture that. That's the promo. That's the things that are going to have people connect with you on a different level, because anyone who knows you knows who you are as an individual, the type of person you are, how you conduct yourself, and you're a respectable person. And you cherish relationships. So getting that on camera, getting that the way you want to live, like if you're at a fine dining restaurant, or you're at an event with your the homies, or if you're in the studio, let people take a sneak peek into your life, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make them fall in love with you. Because even if they don't fall in love with you for your music, they'll fall in love with you because of who you are as a person. And if you can make someone fall in love with you for who you are as a person, they'll support anything that you do.
Exactly, bro. That's so well said, because that's another thing that a lot of artists don't understand, that you have to get the people to fall in love with who you are and your brand, right? Because then, like you just said, if it's not the music that they love, it's going to be you that they love, and that will lead to the music.
Exactly, and that's one of the biggest things is like, I don't want to force feed things down people's throats. Like we got merch coming out, but I'm not dropping the merch until I feel like the merch is ready. I want when people put the merch on, I want people to feel like, you know what, this is just tight clothing. This is something that I can see myself in. I feel like this represents me as a person, and this is why I'm buying it. Yeah. Everything that I plan to do, because I made a campaign that's going to last me like 6 months to another year. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? Everything has to be impactful. I need people to see themselves walking in my shoes. Like, even if you're not going to ever live the same experience that I am, because I'm me and you are you. But I want you to feel like you're right here next to me. Like you're in the same struggle and the same grind, trying to get to that next level like I am.
Living it with you.
And I think that's one thing that humanizes the fantasy. People see what you put on social media, and you're always going to show the best. But let's be real, like 9 times out of 10, we're going to be living great, but that one day we may not be having the answers for that one day. You feel me? Sure. So seeing somebody that you respect go through those type of things, and being able to, have that level of transparency, and you're comfortable and secure in that vulnerability to be able to show that, it's powerful, because now you're demystifying the image of what an artist can be. You feel me? We hear the pain in the music or whatever it may be on a whole bunch of different artists on different calibers, but rarely are people going to show that. And of course, at the end of the day, like there's a lot of things that I've gone through, and you'll hear it in this project, but I wouldn't be who I am today, 10 toes down, standing on all of the things I believe in, if I didn't go through those experiences. You go through these challenges, you can either let these challenges fold you or mold you. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that I've been trying to just push, is that, you are limitless. Don't put a box around yourself. Continue to push forward. Continue to challenge yourself to become the best version of yourself, for yourself and for others. So
that's a great message, man. A lot of gems in this one today. I hope y'all are listening. So who are some people you want to shout out that helped you along the way, or just people that have supported you in general during this whole process?
So I wouldn't be anywhere or any of who I am right now if it wasn't for my relationship with God. But during this process, I did like a lot of reconnecting with myself, with my parents, with my family, with my team, everyone from, my managers, from my assistants, from my brothers at No Politics. And, there's so many people to thank that I really can't, I don't want to miss anybody out. Yeah. But what I am doing is because I understood that without everyone's support, I wouldn't be here. Like tomorrow, I'm about to drop a whole, I guess not like a, I guess you could say like it's like a letter, right? And it's literally detailing what this project means to me and how I want people to embrace it. But then also, as like a special thing, I've written down every single person within the last 3 years who's inspired me, supported me, helped me in some type of fashion. And the credits list is a long list. But it's one of these things I couldn't not just thank these people who took time and invested their energy to support me and to help elevate me. Like, we just finished today running a banner campaign where we basically had my brother Nez came up with the concept of, let's recreate the effect of seeing a billboard on social media. took quotes from the songs off the mixtape, put them on social media, and I had 101 people decide, hey, I'm going to support you, and we're going to post this to make sure people can see it. That's fucking insane to me, you know? And it's like, okay, even though I thank these people on a consistent basis for helping me out, I want it to be immortalized to where anybody who is curious about what made To Live to Love or who helped along this journey, you'll see them all right there.
That's beautiful, man, because not a lot of people give that credit, you know?
Yeah.
So for you to be able to do that it just shows the kind of person that you are.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, it takes a village to raise one person, you know? And I'm a product of a lot of, you know, energy, time, and investment that people put into me, because looking at where I was 5 years ago, 6 years ago on this journey, you know, to who I am today, if it wasn't for them, I really wouldn't be the person that I am today. So I'm very humble and grateful for all of the things that people have invested in me over this time.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing, bro. So project comes out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Anything anybody needs to know before that comes out?
When you listen to Live to Love, make sure that you come in with an open mind and be ready to enjoy, go through moments of happiness, sadness, but just understand that this is all about life. And I want to push you and help elevate you and inspire you to be the absolute best version of yourself.
Oh, yeah. To Live to Love, Wednesday, Elza, Breakthru TV. It's a wrap.
Yeah, giving my all to the game, sharing my passion and pain. Lately I'm going insane. I got my foot on they